Look what's going on in Congress. The amount of congressmen and women that are outperforming people like Warren Buffett in the stock market every year.
You got the homeless scheme, money laundering, $26 billion, man. Like, that's a lot of money. Honestly, for $26 billion, you could probably went to every single homeless in California and said, yeah, listen, here's $200,000. Go there now. Do you think any of these guys are afraid of going to prison?
They should all be afraid of going to prison. The problem is that they've gamed the system to where they don't have to worry about it.
If you're voting for that party, I mean, you must either be very rich where money is just not an object to you and you could care less about letting somebody steal your money, or you're an idiot. A lot of people said, Alex, what does it take to make a person move from sunny, warm California to Illinois? And my first answer is the politics. And then I realized how stupid that must sound, because when I saw the mayor of Chicago, I mean, Illinois, it's a blue state. I mean, it's as blue. It might even be bluer than California, I mean, honestly. But when I saw the mayor of Chicago, basically, Illinois is equivalent to Los Angeles, I thought they literally went on the street, found a random homeless person and said, hey, you're the one, you're going to do it, you're going to be the mayor. And that's the previous mayor of Chicago. Have you seen the mayor of Chicago?
He's awful.
That would be right if it was a he.
Well, it wasn't.
She's awful. The current guy's a he. The previous one is a lady. She fits all of the DEI, like everything. She's black. She's lesbian.
Oh, sounds like LA.
Is Karen Bass?
Yeah, black, lesbian,
maybe they were
communist.
Together before. Oh, that's the current mayor of Chicago, is a communist.
What do you know? Oh, this one was also a terrorist. She actually was part of an assault on the Capitol back in the 80s.
So I don't know what it is, but when I moved to Chicago, the governor must be a little better, although Pritzker's no gem. But we didn't have the homelessness problem, but that could be because it's just too damn cold for homeless people to survive in Chicago on the streets, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, that and California's had a policy since Jerry Brown to send us here homeless. And so we've been taking homeless from around the country. That's why California's got 1/3 of the nation's homeless population. We've got over 250,000 homeless in California.
Where did that $26 billion go? I mean, $26 billion is a lot of money.
They laundered it. You have these organizations in Los Angeles, like LASA, that have been just mismanaging funds. In fact, the previous she just got...
she had a construction company too, right?
Well, her husband actually was the CEO of a homeless charity that LASA was then sending funds to. And so, of course, there was a little conflict.
Is anybody going to jail? I mean, like, this is the question everybody's asking. Is anybody going to jail?
Nobody, unfortunately.
Is it not illegal to misappropriate government funds?
Of course it is.
Illegal to misappropriate taxpayer funds? Because I know some people who've done that, and they actually are going to jail. They're actually already in jail.
Well, unfortunately, the way that our justice system is set up, they're not going after their own kind. They only want to go after...
So they weaponize the justice system.
Right. They only want to
go after their political opponents.
Mm-hmm. They want to go after people that are going to essentially take away the gravy train. That's the big issue.
And that's why the Biden administration was holding on to everything for dear life, because they knew that, wait a minute, somebody's about to pull the plug on our gravy train. We need to stay on this thing.
Yeah.
And everybody was playing, because they knew that this isn't just bad for one or two people. It's bad for like a whole system of corruption.
Well, that's where they survive. I mean, the corruption is the biggest issue in our country right now. Think about it. You've got folks that have been entrenched in power for decades, and they know how to manipulate the system to enrich themselves. And all the while, they let everybody else be thrown by the wayside, and they don't care who they hurt or they destroy or how industry is affected. And so as long as they're taken care of, it doesn't matter. Look what's going on in Congress. The amount of congressmen and women that are outperforming people like Warren Buffett in the stock market every year. I mean,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting that the Oracle of Omaha, a truly great investor, he's being outperformed by almost every congressman and congresswoman. And we know the one who's like the Warren Buffett of the Congress.
Nancy Pelosi.
You know what we're talking about. Yeah. She just keeps hitting the nail on the head every single time.
But it's both sides, Alex. That's the thing.
I know.
You've got people like Dan Crenshaw that are in on it too.
I mean, the truth is, if you make a system where politicians are allowed to make trades based on not only off insight and information that they have knowledge of, they're not taking the information. They're making the information. They're creating legislation that directly impacts what's going to happen to some of these companies' stocks, like the Green New Deal, all-electric charging station manufacturers. Well, I own some of their stock. I'm doing bad. Don't worry. I'm not a politician. I lost a ton of money on that one. EVGO, I mean, like a great company with lots of potential, but I'm down like 70% on it because I just don't have that information. And, or maybe I'm just not a good investor, but that's okay. I can live with the fact that I don't have the information, or maybe I'm just not that good of an investor. I obviously didn't risk anything I couldn't afford to lose. But the point is, I lost money.
Nobody
I
wants
lost
to
money.
lose.
Why is it that if I had some information and I acted on that information like somebody famous once did, Martha Stewart,
Right. Well,
Why is
she wasn't in politics. She didn't have those protections.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So if I took some information and made a good trade based on that knowledge, how do you not make a good trade? You know, if you know that tomorrow your stock is going to go down and you have a little time to sell it, what are you going to do?
Short it.
You're going to sell it. You're going to short it.
Yeah.
When you know, you can't help it. Legal, illegal, you can't not know what you know. And in the case of our politicians, and you're right on both sides, they know, they act, they prosper. Any other citizen who did that, that's called insider trading.
Yep.
Or in the case where you're making the rules, that's called stock price manipulation. You'd be
Right.
locked up for a solid amount of prison time.
Absolutely. And they'd throw you under the jail for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the people in power that write the laws that protect themselves in the same time. And they know what they're doing. The problem is that we, the people, have been so conditioned to not talk about politics.
And it's been comfortable.
Oh, we are very comfortable. But that's
We've been comfortable.
Oh, beyond. And as bad as things might seem right now, it can always get worse. People are going to still find ways to just shy away and be comfortable. We have to break this cycle. We have to do the uncomfortable thing, and that is discuss politics.
Yes.
That's what
They
we
say.
have to
They
do.
say it's taboo to talk politics at dinner. I don't care. When I go to a
Yep.
dinner table, I want to know, number one, who I'm surrounded by. And it's not a problem if I'm going to vote this way and you're going to vote that way. That's actually great. That actually motivates good debate. Because if everybody at my dinner table thinks the same way I do, what debate are we going to have?
Right, it's an echo chamber.
Exactly.
But we got to break that cycle.
But that brings me to my next point. You know, I did move from a super blue state to a super blue state. I've been fortunate enough to actually meet a lot of conservative people because I moved out of the city of Chicago. I moved into the suburbs and I found a great, not surprising occurrence that in the suburbs, especially the nicer ones where I live, you have people who are affluent, they make money, they're businessmen and women, and they care about what happens to their country. They care about their pocketbook. Obviously, they care about their property tax, which is very high in Chicago and most cities and suburbs. But they care about this country. And, you know, this place where we're at right now, we're at an event with a lot of like-minded people because we care about this country. Normally, you know, rewind me 4, 5, 6, 7 years back, I wouldn't be wasting my time or money. Because, you know, why? Why do this? It's expensive to be here. Got to take time out of my schedule. I donate, I give. Like, this is an expensive venture for me. I could have spent that money on a Hawaiian vacation or bought a new car. But I made this choice instead of that one because I care about the tomorrow of this country.
That's the whole point, is that you have to look at the long-term plan. I mean, short-term little bits of happiness, like, you know, it feels good to buy a car.
Yeah.
Great to go on a Hawaiian vacation. Don't
You
get
should
me
see
wrong.
my cars.
Oh, they're beautiful. I love buying new cars. I love going on a Hawaiian vacation myself. But here's the thing. We have to plan for the future. And right now, everything that our government has been doing is reactionary and not proactive. And we, the people, have to take that proactive stance to make a better future for ourselves.
You're talking about the previous administration, right?
Oh, I mean, not just at the federal level, but at all throughout the state levels as well, and in local government. We have to take the initiative as we, the people, because it's a representative government. It's supposed to be a representative government. That's what a republic is. We're a constitutional republic.
I think we're not in a representative government, honestly. I think we're more like in crony capitalism.
Well,
realistically
but
speaking.
that's because we have allowed ourselves to fall into that because we, the people, have
We've been buying too many cars and buying too many Hawaiian vacations instead of paying attention to what matters.
Well, we let go of our responsibility just as much as the government has a responsibility to, you know, making sure that our country is defended and our borders are secure and we have, you know, infrastructure that works.
That's on the federal level.
Well, even the state level has some responsibility. I mean, obviously, maybe not so much on national defense, but...
No, but the borders, the California had to do their part. New Mexico had to do its part.
Absolutely.
Texas did its part. Texas really did its part for the whole country.
Right. But I mean, the point that I'm making is that we, the people, have to actually take more involvement in monitoring our government, because what we've done, like you mentioned before, is we've got comfortable and we didn't pay attention. And so during that time, bad people with bad intentions got in there, took advantage of the system, gamed it to their favor, and all the while, they put everybody else at a disadvantage to ensure that they would continue to stay in power.
This reminds me of that saying. How does it go? Like good
times create weak men, weak men create hard times create strong men.
Yes, it's strong men creation time. And that's why we're here. I'm really happy that we got to connect over here.
Absolutely.
I love what we're doing here, and I really love what you're going after, because California, I mean, I still live in California, and just for the record, like I did move to Illinois, but I still have my house in Marina Del Rey. I do come here, not as much as I'd like, because, you know, my business really has me more over there. But maybe it's good that I'm over there because I'm in a position over there, thanks to my car, actually. Like I got the Trump wrapped Porsche.
It's beautiful.
Thanks to my car, I've actually been approached by like the older men who smoke cigars in my neighborhood, and they said, Alex, I hope that your heart's exactly where this car is, or you need to run for office. So I'm being pushed, but bringing me back to you and the beautiful state that I want to come back to once I become filthy rich in Illinois. Illinois, I need your help. California's expensive, man. California's expensive. My dollar goes so much further in Illinois. That's one thing. But back to beautiful California, like, what do you think about all this, like the train project that's like 10 times over budget? Obviously, a money laundering.
Of course. I mean, you can see construction projects like this happening in the third world where they're siphoning money out of that, but they're doing it here in California. I mean, the fact that we've hardly built any track. First off, it's
over budget. Every time they talk about it, it's over budget.
First off, it's beyond the fact that it's over budget. That's its issue on its own. It was sold as a bullet train from LA to San Francisco. It doesn't do that. It also was sold as it's going to be this really fast train.
It's not even going to be that fast. Yeah.
I mean,
like China can like go circles around that train.
The what was it, the Shanghai Sen or something like that in China?
Listen,
it's a crazy.
China's slow trains can probably go faster than this fast train.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but the way that they're building it, nothing's being done. You're losing out on great farmland that we actually really need to use here in California, and it's just a waste of money.
Well, Donald Trump brought attention to it because Donald Trump knows a thing or two about building things, and he's like, I know what this is. This is a money laundering. Look, you got the homeless scheme money laundering, and so much money. I mean, $26 billion, man. Like, that's a lot of money. Honestly, for $26 billion, you could probably went to every single homeless in California and said, yeah, listen, here's $200,000. Go there now. You know, they could have just given them the money, made their lives better, or they would have done whatever they would have done. But the point is, for that kind of money, it's a lot of money. You don't even need to try. Trust me, it's enough money to solve the homeless problem. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you could have given them each.
You could end world hunger for $6 billion.
Yes,
Elon Musk said that.
But here's the thing. There's no money in it.
Yeah, there's no money in curing anything.
Right. Look, it's the same thing with the petropharmaceutical companies. A patient cured is
not a patient anymore. Yeah,
exactly. It's a customer loss.
If you cure homelessness, you can't create housing or programs because programs need employees and a director. Listen, I don't know.
It's the same thing with the Green New Deal stuff.
Oh man,
you can't. How are you going to tax?
It's disgusting that you and I could talk about so many things, go off on 25 different tangents, and we'll be right every single time because that's wrong. That's corruption. That's fraud. And I come from the Soviet Union. I was born there. I was raised here, thank God. But my parents told stories of corruption, except over there, it wasn't even a big deal because everybody knew it was happening. And that's just the way it was. And that's kind of why a lot of Eastern Europeans are kind of like, oh, how much do I got to pay to get this done? Because they already know that that's how you get things done.
That's the game.
But the truth is you get it done here that way too. Look, I moved to Chicago. You know what never stops in Illinois? Construction of roads. Never, ever stops. You know why? There's a lot of money in endlessly constructing roads.
I mean, they do it here. I mean, they'll pave a street here in California, and then 3 weeks later, they're tearing it up to go fix something else underneath it. It's the constant cycle of that. What we saw...
The flow of money.
Oh, yeah. But you saw in 1994, we had the big earthquake in Northridge.
Yeah, and I was here for that, actually.
Yeah, I lived through it. I remember it.
I was 6. I was scared.
I was a little kid, too, but I still remember it. And the 118 and the 14 interchange overpasses collapsed.
Yes.
And the government said that you've got 120 days to get this fixed. And every day,
private world, that would happen in 2 days.
Well, get this. So they said every day that you complete it early, we're going to pay you more. They got it done in 90 days. And meanwhile, they've been working on the 5 freeway trying to widen that since I was in high school. And they're still not done.
Look, all I can say is that President Trump, since he got into office, he took an eye to California. He called out the $26 billion corruption of homelessness. He just hasn't been investigated yet. What I'm hoping is that all those people who were involved, because it's not like it's just one person who stole money from that program.
Oh, yeah.
$26 billion is enough to make a lot of people very rich. And guess what? We don't have any less homeless than we did before. If anything, I think we have less. I mean, I'm just visiting California at this point.
No, we don't have. We have more homeless. In fact, we have 50% more homeless, Alex.
Good job, program. Good job.
That's what it buys you. But that's the whole point, because the way that
it creates a bigger machine.
Of course.
You know, next year they're not going to need $26 billion. They're going to need 50.
Of course. It's the same problem with the way that we're funding all our agencies. They give them X amount of dollars, and they say, if you don't spend it all,
we're not going to give it to you again.
We're not going to give you as much. But if you spend it all,
I've worked in a lot of corporate spaces where, like, if your department has a budget and you don't spend it, you're showing the higher ups that you just don't need it. So I get that.
Right.
I get that. But, like, are there no morals? Are there no scruples? Is there no fear of going to jail and being accountable?
Look what's happened to God in this country. Where is that? Where's morality? The religion's been kicked out of everything.
How about fear? How about fear of law? How about fear of going to prison?
Well, here's the thing. Where are the consequences? Where are all the bad people? Where's the Epstein client list?
That one man who wanted to fix it all, what did they do before he got it? They tried to kill him. They tried to charge him. They tried to imprison him.
Everything.
They tried so hard. And you know what's funny? A lot of people...
Yeah, but that's the thing. You get 3 lives, essentially. First, they try to cancel you. Then they try to imprison you. Then they try to kill you. And Trump has survived all 3 of those. So far. He's not... They're going to still try to kill him.
For sure. He expects it.
Of course.
Everybody expects it. It will be a surprise to no one. Do you think any of these guys are afraid of going to prison?
They should all be afraid of going to prison. The problem is that they've gamed the system to where they don't have to worry about it. They've set up all these crooked judges over the last several decades to keep them in power. There's no consequences right now. Alex, look what's going on.
I think you're trying to say, don't try this at home, kids. Enter the game, change the rules, keep new players out of it.
Well, that's how they stay in power. That's the name of their corrupt game. And it's all about self-enrichment, self-gain, and self-empowerment.
All right. Let's get to Mr. Leo Zacky. I know that you're going to be going for this position. I think you're absolutely the right person for this. You think the right way. You're part of the right movement. What are you going to do? What you can do to not get killed? What are they going to do to make sure they take a shot at you?
Well,
because this thing needs to change, man. I mean, the local politics here, California has like the 6th largest economy of the world. It's like a country of its own. Like somebody needs to take over this ship, take over this car, get behind the wheel and drive.
Well, if they do kill me, that means I was doing the right thing. And I'd hope somebody else would.
That's true. I hope they just get your ear, if anything, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to die, but look, if they kill me, that means I was doing the right thing. And I just hope somebody else picks up the torch and my rifle and keeps charging forward ahead. I mean, that's what has to be done here because...
But let's fast forward. Like, when are you going to make the run?
We're doing it. It's happening.
I'm saying like when should we start looking for you on the ballot?
Right. Oh,
let's save the date, everybody.
Save the date, June 2nd, 2026. That's the primary. That's when I need you to come out and vote. Most importantly, I got to be at least the second highest
Everybody
vote getter.
who's watching this, Leo Zacky, California, June 2nd, 2026. This is when this guy needs you because we need a change. I've had the pleasure of knowing Leo for some time now. I got behind him from day one. Like everything that you said to me resonated, and everything we're talking about right now, we're on the same page. We need to make sure that common sense, decency, and legitimacy is back, and not with one goal to steal from here and steal from there. Like we need to bring this beautiful state from being the 6th largest economy to maybe it could be the 5th. I mean, everybody wants to be here. I mean, we're here now. Look at this beautiful place. You're in heaven.
This is the great
Why
spot.
shit on heaven?
Oh, talk about shit. You should see what's going on with the water here. There's a big problem from Mexico. They're dumping their raw sewage into the ocean here. And actually they're dumping into a river that flows into the United States and then dumps out into the ocean here, and it's contaminating. I was talking to the lifeguards earlier, and that's why the red flags are up. It's not because of dangerous surf or shore break. It's because that the water is contaminated with sewage.
Is anybody doing anything about this?
No.
Is this a state problem or is this a federal problem?
It's a combination. It's an international situation. It's also a state thing, but it's worse. It's a federal government thing. The problem is they've talked to Mexico about fixing this. Mexico doesn't care.
This is a problem where if I was the governor or if you will be, this is something where you alert the feds to say, Trump,
you have to make a stink about this.
Yeah, for sure.
You really do.
It's going to stink on its own. So
that's true.
You better make a stink about it before the water starts to stink.
I mean, there's things that can be done. You have to impose sanctions. You have to impose force on them. I mean, this is outrageous. There should be fines. There should be tax penalties. I mean, what's going on with this? It's poisoning our Navy SEALs. They train here on this beach.
Yeah,
they run up and down on this beach. They swim in this water. And half of the Navy SEALs that have been training here in the last few years have been getting really, really sick from this contamination.
This is a situation where Newsom should have called for Trump's help. But they're not buddies, though.
Well, it's not even about that. Forget the buddies thing. How about doing the right thing for your people?
Oh, he doesn't care.
Oh,
he doesn't care.
Someone who claims to be an environmentalist?
He doesn't care.
What is this?
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Of course
he doesn't care. You know he doesn't. Listen, skip all that. I just can't wait till this piece of garbage is out of here. I don't know how the little runoff that they had, how that went in his favor. That was obviously a stolen runoff election.
Well, there's a lot of election integrity issues
voter
here.
fraud is an obvious occurrence.
Well, the voter rolls here are hyperinflated. That's another big issue that we're dealing with, is that you have 135% registered voters in the city of Los Angeles, 148% registered voters in the city of San Francisco. And those are just two of the biggest examples. But that's...
Wait, did you just exceed 100%?
Twice.
I was listening, trying to catch every word you're saying. Like, this guy just say 100% twice and then say over 100%?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that tells you something. Forget all that. What are 3 top things you're going to change when you become governor of California in 2026?
end the drought, end homelessness, and make sure that we don't have any more wildfires.
Now, I know you know a lot about homelessness, and we've talked about it before. What do you think is like the main driver of like the homelessness issue that we're having, or the homelessness crisis, you should call it?
It's a mental health crisis compounded by a drug epidemic, exacerbated by a failed education system here in California. That's what's causing the homelessness to be so rampant in California and across the country, but certainly here.
I mean, I guess you made the point and you drove it home with saying like California really does have an import your homeless situation because they have money, they have nice weather. I mean, does any of that $26 billion ever actually get to the homeless people? I mean, like, where does it go?
What people will do is, well, because they're all appointed positions, they're not elected officials. So it's all appointments. So there's no real oversight on this.
Make all your buddies in the...
Exactly. Hey,
and then you open a couple of construction
Alex,
companies.
what you should do is you should start a company and we're going to buy socks from you. So you go on Alibaba and you buy, 10,000 socks and we're going to pay you $10 a pair.
I'm from Eastern Europe, man. We know how that works. We know how this whole thing works. I mean, it doesn't take a genius. And I know that the fraud that's being done to take this homeless money isn't like some elaborate scheme. I think it's the fraud on the plainest, simplest forms. I just think that it's been going on totally unpunished. And there's no fear because if you take away punishment, if you take away law, there's no fear because there's nothing to be afraid of anymore.
No consequences. Yeah. That's exactly it. Other things that they're doing is because right now the way that they solve homelessness.
Wait, wasn't Kamala Harris a prosecutor for the state of California?
She was Attorney General.
I see that the rot starts from the head.
It certainly does. You have to have competent leadership at top to make sure that you set a clear course in the direction that you want to take the state, and everybody else will fall in line underneath. But you have to be that leader that's going to lead from the front. If you see what's going on right now, you have corruption up top that doesn't care. So everybody else underneath notices that and say, well, they don't care and they're getting their slice of pie. How do I get mine? And it's that trickle down of corruption.
And the citizens really need to be concerned because it's not like California has low taxes. California has the highest taxation, actually maybe beat by Illinois. Hold on a second there.
14.9% state income tax.
Okay, winner, chicken dinner. I mean, insanely high revenue from real estate tax. I mean, there's so many taxes. There's fuel tax. Let's not forget how fuel here. Excise, real estate. I mean, income tax. California taxes you to death. I mean, taxes are high as it is, but California just takes that grill and sticks it to you a little bit more. And that money, the reason we need those high taxes is to pay for this fraud. So everybody who is a voter in California, if you're voting for blue, if you're voting for that party, I mean, you must either be very rich where money is just not an object to you and you could care less about letting somebody steal your money, or you're an idiot.
Or you're conditioned to live on the government handout.
Okay, you're more kind than me. Or you're conditioned to live on the government handout. Please, if you're watching this, if this somehow reaches you, just think of what you're paying for. When you're getting taxed at 14.9 top tier bracket for income tax, when you're paying that real estate tax, when you're putting fuel in your car, I mean, it could be simple stuff just like state tax on McDonald's. If you're getting a burger and it costs you $20 and you're going to pay like $22.50, you're paying that extra $2.50 so you can pay for some of that fraud. You're paying for that $26 billion in homeless care fraud. You're paying for, what is it, $50 billion for the train now?
I think it's 60.
Every time I hear about this train project, there's an extra $10 billion on this. It's compounding. So you're paying for that fraud. And it's not like that money is actually going to help homelessness or build a damn fast train. Neither one of those problems are being solved. And I hope that the administration Trump, I hope that he looks into it because I don't think it's going to be too difficult to find the fraud. I think it's right in your face. I hope that gets found. I hope that it gets caught. And I hope that everybody who needs to gets brought to very simple justice, just like any other citizen that would steal money at that level would. They would be going to prison for a long time. And this isn't about retribution. It's not about revenge. It's about there should be punishment for crime.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm someone who believes in the death penalty. See, right now we have a moratorium on that. And so people who go out and commit heinous acts, they never actually face the real justice. And often they live quite comfortably on death row. But if you have to have people facing real consequences to deter folks from doing that, because it sets a precedence that if you're going to behave this way, this is what's going to happen to you. I mean, look at Dubai. There's like no crime in Dubai because almost everything's punishable. I
believe you get your hand by like chopped off for stealing or something like that.
Right, but
when the punishment is so crazy, that's a good deterrent. So look, El Salvador had an insane crime problem. And what happened?
He enforced the law. That's what he did.
And he killed all the gangsters too. He let them know if you want to be a gangster, there's a severe and
real
consequence.
Yeah, but now people, because I have friends that have come from El Salvador that have lived there and experienced what it's like
I've heard stories.
under that. They would literally ride the bus from town to town, and then gang members would get on and just rob everybody on the bus.
It was heaven for gangsters.
Of course, they could kill, rape, murder, steal, and they wouldn't face any consequences because they had a government that was so weak. I mean, that's what's going on in Mexico. They're a complete narco state.
I mean, check it out. Bukele is actually a good example of what happens with good governance. It was a horrible place, horrible real estate value, horrible economy, horrible everything. And then he came in and said, you know what, we're just going to punish all the criminals on the spot. We're going to kill them. We're going to imprison them. And immediately the real estate values to the moon. It's safe. The economy's coming back. The country's doing better. People are happy because they can actually leave their house. So California needs its own Bukele.
Yeah.
Do you think you're a Bukele?
Oh, I can definitely emulate him. I can emulate a lot of great leaders. I mean, even Javier Milei.
Yes. Another good one. I don't think Argentina needed as much kind of power as Bukele brought, but Milei just threw away all the stupid no-nonsense policies.
All the waste. But that's what California has. We have a bureaucratic...
Viva la libertad, carajo. I love it.
We have just a plethora of bureaucratic waste here in this state. I mean, the fact that...
Aside from the fraud, there's also waste.
Oh, yeah, there's fraud.
And what's the difference? Fraud, waste?
They kind of go hand in hand.
The result is the same.
Right.
You know, fraud, waste. At the end of the day, it's money that's taken from the taxpayer. And, we have no more money. Time to raise those taxes again.
Well, that's all. That's the other problem is we don't have a diverse way of bringing in additional sources of income to the state. The only way the state...
But wait, it gets worse. So many companies left California because of stupid policies.
Of course.
My
family ran out of business. We were the largest privately owned employer in the state. We were the largest poultry producer on the West Coast. In business for 90 years, vertically integrated here. We became successful because California was great for business and great for agriculture. But then the rules changed and the legislature got woke and anti-business. And all of a sudden,
that's how you turn a good place into a shit place. That's how you go.
The whole thing about what people have been sold on from the woke liberal left is that it's always, we're this close to utopia. If we could just get rid of Donald Trump.
Leninist, communist. Get that shit out of here, man.
Yeah, but that's how they pitch everybody. It's like, we're this close to having everything wonderful. Have you looked around lately?
I think that's how communism is sold. It's this close to being perfect. It's this close to being utopia. And some people fall for it. And that's how you lose a country. That's how you lose, like, your freedom.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away our rights at every possible turn. And what's already happened, though, at a federal level, I mean, the fact that we have the Patriot Act here, that's a big erosion of our rights already. That's a huge problem.
You know, like, it's actually, I study a lot of history. I study a lot of literature from foreign nations which used fear to erode liberties. What they say is, it's called political theater. It's called fear theater. They say, put fear in a person and then tell them that you can take it away, but you have to give up some of those liberties.
But that's how they've always done it.
Oh, I know.
That's how they do it.
I know, yeah.
That's how the Patriot Act got in place after 9/11. They were scared to death. It's all fear, and we'll sell you this false concept of safety in exchange for your rights and liberties.
It's called safety theater.
That's how they do it.
You know the airports, all that stuff?
Oh, God.
I've been to some countries where they just interview every single passenger. I think that's Israel. And I was so surprised how a country that's like facing terrorism on a daily basis, you would think they would have like sniffing dogs and radars and lasers and all kinds of crazy tech. Guess what? They got none of that. They have a Mossad agent who literally comes and interviews every single passenger. And based on what they think is going to determine whether you're getting on that plane or not. Obviously there's some safety measures at the airport, but I was going through an airport over there at one point, and an agent came to interview me, and they asked me all kinds of deep and intimate questions. I was like, I feel uncomfortable. They're like, well, if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to fly today. So you answer the questions, and based on their training, they determine if you're going to fly on that plane. And guess what? They have no scanners. They have no lines. Just an agent comes and interviews you, and if you pass, you're flying.
Wow. That's very intense.
It is intense, actually. The interview itself is intense, but it must be effective.
Wow. Well, look, they don't have any, they've already had issues with hijackings. They don't want to go through that again.
Well, they have very few, and I hear that, like, as crazy as that is, Israel gets a lot of shit, but I think it's actually probably one of the safest airlines just because they're always threat ready.
Well, that and they have
They're always expecting some shit to go down, so they're ready for it right away. But that's the thing, that they don't let you, the average Joe, know that there's all this stuff going on in the background, and none of your liberties had to be eroded. They just know that some shit might go down, and they're ready for it.
Yeah, well, all right, folks, I'm here with Alex Bloom. I'm so glad to be here with him today. I really enjoy Alex. He's a great friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while now, and, well, he's really successful, and he's done that here in America because he appreciates what it takes. Unfortunately, he's made the move from California to Chicago.
Not the smartest move.
But that's okay. We're going to make California a place for Alex to come back to. And I'm just glad to have him here today. I'm really excited to talk with him.
Thank you,
We
Leo.
got so much going on.
I really appreciate everything you're doing. California needs a change. Bring me home, Leo. I really want to come home.
Oh, we can do that. Look, simple changes. You understand the difficulties of working in a blue state, just like I do. I mean, the simple changes that we need are to have a fair playing field for, well, business, for people to be able to live affordable lives. We have to create abundance. And abundance will lead to wealth, and people will be able to survive.
And we need to bring back
thrive.
Elon Musk. Elon, you should come back too. I'll come if you come, Elon.
Well, we want to bring all the businesses back here to California. It's a shame. Tesla was a California company. It's now gone. In-N-Out Burger has now moved to Tennessee.
Oh, they're gone too?
Yeah.
Oh, how horrible. You guys still have In-N-Out here, right?
Yeah, with the headquarters.
Oh, thank God. All right, good.
But that's for tax purposes, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I mean, I know the owners are wonderful people, but they have to make business decisions. And when California says, we're going to tax you to death, we're going to make it impossible for you to be successful, people have no choice but to up and leave. And unfortunately, jobs go with that. But we've seen other companies like Chevron leave. We saw 99-cent stores close down. Oracle left. My own family business got destroyed after 90 years.
California doesn't know how to incentivize businesses, but they sure do know how to make them run the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm no marker, but I did have 17 people here, and that's 17 people that I didn't take with me. First of all, the workforce is a bit cheaper in Illinois, just because it's a cheaper state to live. I'm not going to say the taxes are better over there. It was just an overall cheaper situation, more affordable situation, and I myself, my own personal dollar simply goes way further over there. The taxes are still horrible there, don't get me wrong, but because it's the Midwest, it's cheaper by virtue. But the point is, any state should be taking an example. If you tax your good businesses to death, sooner or later, they're going to get smart and they're going to leave. I'm not the biggest example, obviously, but Tesla is, Chevron is, all those other companies who left are.
But you're successful. You're a job creator. You're an innovator, Alex. Those are the kind of people that we want to have here in California, because people like you and me, we're the ones that create jobs. We don't want people to be reliant on the government. We want people to be reliant on themselves. And we want to be able to create that wealth here.
Less government is more government. It's
That's
better.
the best way.
Less government is the only way to do it, because California has become a monster whose only goal is to feed itself. And obviously it's God as the dollar bill. It's actually a bad God. It's actually a bad believer, because it doesn't know how to keep the dollar bills here. It's scaring the dollar bills from here. It's making them, California, go back to your roots. Let the dollar bill be your God, but at least learn how to keep them here.
Well, I would argue that one. I think that we should we definitely need to bring morality back. I definitely want people to believe in God, not the dollar.
I'm not
God.
saying we should erode morality. That was obviously a joke. What I'm really saying is that even if that's the case, like if the dollar bill really is your God, you're doing a shit job at that too, because you're scaring away all the dollars from here. I left, Musk left, Chevron left, In-N-Out left. I mean, all these companies have left, and more will continue to leave at this tax rate. They are not making a good environment for business. It's just that the good weather alone can't keep people here.
No, of course. And here's the thing. When you have a bad economy, guess what happens? Crime goes up.
Oh, yeah.
And when
Fraud goes up.
Oh,
Because you need to pay for bills nonetheless.
But yeah, you have people that then become dependent on the government, or they wind up on the street, and then they wind up on drugs. It's this downward negative spiral that is created by poor policy here in California. The overtaxation, the overregulation, the high minimum wage, arbitrary rules and regulation, high utility prices, because again, here in California, it's a reactive government, not a proactive government. When
most government is reactive, not proactive, except for the one that just came into office.
Well, Trump and his administration, they're
very
taking the
proactive.
proactives. But that's the thing. We have to play the long game, not the short game.
The bad governments are the ones who put out fires when they happen. The good ones are the ones who make sure the fire never starts.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do here in California. I'm glad you brought up wildfires. I've lived so close to these fires.
I actually didn't mean for there to be a pun, but you Californians, I'm so sorry for you guys.
You're still one of us.
I know. My driver license still says California. Every time I get pulled over in Illinois, I actually get out of tickets that way all the time. Thank you, the city of Downers Grove. I really appreciate that. Like, oh, California. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of just visiting. They're like, okay, next time. So yeah, that's a good thing. I'm hoping to come back and not actually need to change my driver's license. Still have an address here. Leo, I'm so happy to be here with you today. I can't wait to see what happens in June of 26.
Me too, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.